Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is set to introduce many new revelations in this film that will lead to many saga-wide implications in this story that'll make us view both The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens in a different light. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So, what's really intriguing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this movie is not only the culmination of the Skywalker saga, but it's also going to be a film that's going to set up the new Star Wars trilogy and will have connections to the upcoming 3 Star Wars movies by the creators of Game of Thrones and a whole lot more, and that new Force powers will be introduced by some of the legacy characters and even some of the sequel trilogy characters in Episode 9. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, what's really intriguing is that a description of Rey inside of the Lost City, where it's described that she is inside of a place called the Lake of Dreams. It's described that this is the moment in which Rey begins to hear the Force Ghost voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi, where Kenobi's Force Ghost voice begins to reach out to Rey. It's described that as Rey is lying down on her back in the lake with her eyes closed and meditating, she hears the whispers of Kenobi, where Kenobi is explaining the secrets of the beyond. It's described that it turns out that Kenobi's ghost offers secret knowledge to Rey about ancient powers from the beyond, and that this is how she evolves with her powers during the second act of the film, where she also includes the ability of flash fighting against Kylo Ren in the third act. Additionally, it's described that Rey eventually exits out of the lake and begins to read Kenobi's journal, again where she learns that Kenobi discovered that the beyond is a place that mixes the powers of both the origins of the dark side and the light, that unlock Force powers that Jedi would have never dreamed of discovering, and that by combining both powers of the dark and the light can lead to the powers such as flow walking. After Kenobi's death, it's described that he guides Rey during her meditation by linking her to the beyond remotely. So let's go over a couple of parts about this, because this is really bringing me back to Star Wars Legends. Now, in Legends, flow walking was a huge thing, and according to Kenobi, in the storyline for Episode 9, by mixing the powers of both the dark and the light and linking Rey to the beyond is what allows her to gain the ability to flow walk and to hence use that ability of flash fighting against Kylo Ren within the third act of the film. So from the way things are going, it really seems like it's going to be Rey that's going to initiate or introduce the power to Kylo Ren of the flash fighting techniques that she finds through Kenobi's journal and through the whispers of Kenobi's Force Ghost voice as she is meditating in the Lake of Dreams. Now, I don't know if we've gone over the Lake of Dreams in great detail, but what's really interesting about this is that it's somewhat similar to what we saw in The Last Jedi, where Rey falls into the water, she exits and submerges out of the water, or comes out of the water after she submerges, and once she actually gets out of there, you do see a lake behind her. It's somewhat similar to this, except it's said to be larger and more magical looking, and what I mean by that is there's going to be a lot of glowing orbs flying around Rey for the sequence, and there's going to be a lot of different color schemes that are going to be used for the scene. So look forward to that. The Lake of Dreams really sounds like it's going to be a very interesting experience for a Star Wars viewer that's going to watch a Jedi such as Rey. In case you guys did not know, Rey is supposedly a Jedi in Episode 9 because in Galaxy's Edge, all the employees keep calling her a Jedi, so I'm led to assume that now she's a complete Jedi in The Rise of Skywalker, since it takes place 1 year, roughly after the events of The Last Jedi. So, with that being said, what's really intriguing about this is that in The Rise of Skywalker, Rey learns these new abilities through the Force Ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And the thing that I find so impressive about that is that not only does this allow J.J. Abrams to use some of the prequel characters and the original characters, and he allows them to actually have a purpose and or meaning to some of the sequel trilogy based characters in Episode 9. So this is really going to be a very interesting touch to see exactly how Kenobi is going to fit into the picture here. And we only got a little hint of this in The Force Awakens, where Kenobi is whispering to Rey, right? Where he says, "Rey, these are your first steps." It's going to be very similar to that experience apparently in Episode 9, where now she's meditating and she's learning these new abilities through Kenobi, and I find the beyond to be a very interesting part of this story. We're still not quite sure exactly, right? Exactly down to the T here, exactly what it is. It's either a place within the galaxy or a different dimension, if you will. We do know that the Dark Acolyte originates from the Beyond, and the Acolytes of the Beyond, reside over there, and that's exactly how the spirit of Sidious will come into play, is by using the powers of the dark side, the origins of the dark side through the Dark Acolyte over in the Beyond, and that's how he's able to come back. So you can really see that JJ really is trying to go all out with this movie. He's actually trying to make this film really cater to almost all the Star Wars fans, which may or may not be a good thing. We'll have to wait and see on whether or not this movie is going to feel a little too crammed or crowded, but after all, there have been a lot of hints and or indicators out there that this could very well be the longest Star Wars film in the franchise's history. So that's one thing to look forward to as well. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. From night to moon, we hear their moans again.